Hello friends, I'm Büşra. I'm a lifelong student and designer. Today we'll talk about how to design our own signature. How to design the best and easiest. I have summarized my signature techniques for you in 8 minutes. This is our first English lesson on YouTube, so forgive my mistakes. You can find my signature design and calligraphy lessons in the playlists. Some, if not all, English subtitles. Let's start now. Let's get to know our handwriting first. And let's decide what kind of signature we want. First, you can write upright, you can write to the left or right. You can draw zigzags while writing or more rounded lines. And third, your letters can be very close together or you can open the letter range. And fourth, your letters may be narrow or wide, you can fatten or weaken. Fifth, you can use your full name. You may not use both. You can write your first name and last name. You can write your name and surname. You can write initial and surname. And a lot of things you can do. However, this is restricted in some countries' laws. This is important. And sixth, you can use lowercase or uppercase. You can use lowercase letters as initial and you can use uppercase letters in your inner letters. And the angle of your pen with the surface is very important. You can increase or decrease it. Your pen point is also important. If you keep the pen from the front, you will dominate it. But if you keep it behind, you can swipe the pen like a brush. And your signature may go up or down, or it can go straight. And you can change your letter partitioning, so you can change your letters to completely different characters. And tenth, last, and the most important for me, each letter has an anatomy: head, body, and tail. The letter X has only the body. The letter B has both body and head. The letter Y has body and tail. The letter F has body, head, and tail. And we put our signature to a different way by making changes in the size of these three elements. The body size of the letters is called X side. If you prefer short X side and long head and long tail in your signatures, it will be a more aesthetic signature. Let's start designing now. The first technique, la la la. I gave this name because of the rhythm we used in music. Going down, turning left. I divide the third movement into sections and write my name and surname. I can change the order of this. I tried for James Smith. I wrote the full name and used the first letter of the last name. I work at a tiny X side. The body of my letter size is tiny and head and tail of my letter is huge. Now I work for Maria Garcia. I write my name first. I need to see my letters. Also you, write your name and surname before you design your signature. Consider what you can use, how you can use. I worked upright. I wrote my name and surname in the envelope with the umbrella method. My second technique, cloud signature technique. I choose letters from within the name. I write some letters clearly. In some, I'm moving too small outside. I called it end march. I don't use the upright parts of my letters in the cloud signature technique. I think of my letters as houses. I'm using the roof of my house. I wipe the pillars of my house. I'm just using rounded parts. I rotate these parts. I reflect them. I'm rounding. I am twisting. And third technique, silhouette signature technique. I get a face when I turn my signature to the right. I write oblique. You can keep the pen behind. The angle of the surface with the pen narrowed. Very small outside and long head and long tail. At the end of my signature, I move the last letter up. And again, I used end march in my inner letters. And now I worked for Robert Johnson. Fourth technique, water signature technique. Let me see now. What letters do I have? There is an R, there is a letter N. In the water signature technique, the principle, liquids take on the shape of the container. We place our signature in geometric shapes. Triangle, circle, square, rhombus, hexagon, pentagon, and so on. Now I place Robert Johnson in a hexagon because of the initial R and the last N letter. I've worked upright and I've worked at a smaller X side. And we have come to the end of this lesson where we summarized all techniques. I hope it will be useful if you work at least 40 times. Also, don't forget to browse the playlist. We made designs for all letters. See you!